This show is brought to you by Boricua Beer, coming to your local retailer.
Hi, I'm Gloria Puerta from Feed and Fortify Community Organization today, and Latino role model. And be yourself. Try to have your purpose in life and be a legacy of service.
My name is Milagros Rivera, and I'm a founder and mentor of Daughters of the Mighty King mentoring program for young girls. I am inspired and encouraged to be here because I want to see a new generation rise up.
I am for the child who's had 7 addresses in a single year because she's in foster care, because her father abused her, and her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a volunteer child advocate. I am you.
Florida residents call toll-free 866-341-1425.
Welcome back to Spanish Speak Out. I'm Jose Miranda. I'm being joined with our other co-host, Bill Garlin. How are you, sir?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you, sir?
Good. We're talking politics again, and we're going to talk Bill's Republican favorite subject, immigration. Of course, we're talking about all those bad, illegal people that come across with their camels and everything else across the borders, killing and pillaging everybody along the borders, and we've got to cut them off. We've got to send them home. We should put up minefields, 700 miles of wall, and let's not forget a tank battalion and some airplanes to bomb them appropriately. We should give them diseases so they can go back to their countries, and that'll cut down on the population coming forward. So,
well, hello again, America. Jose, great intro, but you're off just a tad. A tad. Donald Trump, if he doesn't get the nomination, could put you on Celebrity Apprentice, where you can bloviate on what you just said. No, the conservatives here are against illegal immigration. We're all for legal immigration. We don't want the illegals coming over because as of 2014, there's approximately 11.2 million illegal immigrants that we know of now. We know it's a problem. Our country was founded on legal immigration. We don't want to stop these folks if they're already here, but we want to stop those folks that are not here currently. And that is by trying to put a wall, to stop the influx of illegal immigration.
Because the illegals are just bringing down our country because Americans are lined up to clean bathrooms, wipe people's behinds, fix beds, pick tomatoes. Every American's dream is to lean over every day really hard and pick up tomatoes from the fields.
Well, I've got some stats here. According to the National Public Radio in 2005, about 3% of all illegal immigrants worked in agriculture, 33% in the service industry, 17% in construction, 4% in farming. So yeah, there's a place for immigrants of all kinds, but legal immigrations, these folks, in my opinion, the Conservative Party, are taking jobs from these individuals, especially the Black American, who I've got some stats that their unemployment back in 2008 was 12.2% of Black unemployment. So we feel that these illegal immigrants are taking jobs. And you want to just bring everybody over?
No, you break me up with this stuff. I don't think so. Over 11% of the immigrants that come across are highly educated, have more than a high school diploma, actually have affected the income. In fact, if you allow the people to come across, they will increase the budget, okay? They will add to the budget over 600, this is a heavy word for you guys, B with a billion, okay? So,
okay.
Go.
Okay, well, you mentioned, I don't know where you got your statistics where these legal immigrants go into, high-paying jobs, but it says right here the majority of children that are born to parents who are legal immigrants, migrants, they're called anchor babies, okay? 8% fail to graduate from high school, and fewer than 2 go into any kind of college. So these immigrants that are legal citizens born to illegal immigrants, anchor babies, are not even finishing high school. So we can probably presume, I don't have the statistics in front of me, that the illegal immigration problem, they're not going to high school or finishing high school. They're coming over, working in the fields, and doing it illegally. But you want to bring them all over?
I don't know where you got your statistics. I'm probably from a left-wing side, and it's okay. You're definitely a conservative guy. You don't really care about that, about the kids here. You rather tear the families apart, of course. You don't want them to come. And any children that's born in here, even though the law is designed, if they make it to land here and they should be American citizens. Your folks would rather string them up, all right, and break them up.
No, that's not what I put in my book. Oh. It's Your Choice America. That's not how my solution of people that are currently here in America, the 11.2 illegal immigrants, we don't want to round them up like Donald Trump is saying and put them back in there, but we want to have them go through a process of coming forward and paying some fines, staying in the country, but being legal. We just want to stop the influx right now because there's about 600,000 illegal immigrants coming over to our borders every year.
You're talking about your people coming back across? Okay, but listen, the people that come across the borders, okay,
right,
are coming for freedom, coming for education, coming for all the right reasons. This country was built on immigration, okay?
Right.
It was built on the fact that even your people, when they came in, had to come through the process.
I don't know what you mean by my people.
Yeah, well, people of your color, okay?
Well, so, we're Americans. Let's not.
Only Americans here are Indians. Are you Indian?
Yes, I do have 1/4 of
that doesn't count.
Cherokee
that
Indian
doesn't
in me.
count. That's just probably some rape and incest.
Well,
kind of
okay.
Thing, you know, so.
Let me just take issue for what you just said.
Yeah.
We have no problem again with legal immigrants coming through the system, even if they're illegal, going back, letting us know, or America. What we do have a problem, and most illegal immigrants come over for economic reasons, some for political oppression, is to stop the influx and have it legal so that the people in America now, the blacks, the Asians, the whites, the females, the males, can have a better opportunity as opposed to these illegal immigrants.
Bill, the people coming across actually want to do the system, okay? Our system is so racked up, it's got to be redone. And you have people that have influence and money that jump the lines, okay, that have destroyed the system. Folks coming across want to do it legally. They understand they would have to pay fines. They understand they want to go to the back of the line. Are you okay with that? Or do you just want to ship all 12 million of them?
No, I said that earlier. I don't want to ship the 11.2 million back. I want them to come forward, get in line, pay the fine, stay in this country, and as far as people having some handout, if you will, or bumping the line from either employees or someone they know, if we catch those folks, we should prosecute those folks.
We're in agreement with that.
And as far as the employers, we should find those employers that bring the illegal immigration and not give these opportunities to the people that are already here.
On that note, we're going to have to close it.
Okay.
And we'll say that your conservative group is willing to take all the people that are coming across the border, and I really appreciate your time. Okay, until next time, I'm Jose Miranda.
And I'm Bill Garlington.
And we'll be right back. Nope. We'll see you next week, same time, same station.
I am for the child who's had 7 addresses in a single year because she's in foster care, because her father abused her, and her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a volunteer child advocate. I am you.
Florida residents call toll-free 866-341-1425.
This show is brought to you by Boricua Beer, coming to your local retailer.
My name is Janitzi Velez, and I'm a proud Latina role model. Please embrace your uniqueness, be gracious, and everything that you do it with courage. You are great, and you will do great things.
I'm attorney Yara Rodriguez. I am very proud to be a Latina role model. And for you, my message is never quit. Keep at it and work 24/7 for whatever dream you have, because your dream will become a reality.
Hi, and I'm Altero, and I'm a Latina role model. And I want to tell you, cut your excuses in half and face your fears. Fears are holding you back to becoming who you are meant to be in this world. Everybody has the potential to become whoever they decide to do. Follow your passion, follow your dream, and you'll be happy always.
Hi, welcome back to Hispanic Speak Out TV. This is Jose Miranda. This is on Bright House Channel 49, brought to you each week, starting at 9 o'clock, okay? We talk politics here, and of course, not to be left out, we have one of our great politicians here, a Latino also, John Ortiz, District 49. How old,
43.
43?
Yes, sir.
You guys have been up in Tallahassee. I want to say that you guys were just hanging out in your hotel rooms and playing cards, but you actually were trying to do something up there, right? You sent some legislation to the Supreme Court?
We tried to get the congressional seats done that week, but to no avail, so it was sent back to Supreme Court. The two Republican sides were hitting against each other. They couldn't agree, so it went back to Supreme Court.
I know this is a new concept for some of you guys up there, but what about hiring somebody on the outside to take care of this as opposed to by long party lines?
Well, the Democrats had proposed, they did a press conference and they proposed that have a committee done which had no partisan politics involved,
right,
or had maybe one Democrat or one Republican on it, or two, I believe it was, so they can get things done, so it can be done by a majority of outsiders instead of insiders.
Now, the Supreme Court has already ruled that the way it's currently set up, it's a no-brainer that it's totally wrong. It's only for Republicans and to continue the concepts that we're going on, so we need a fairer redistricting. Okay, seeing that the Supreme Court has decided to butt in and say, this is what it is, why can't you guys get it along?
You can't blame it on the D's. You gotta blame it on the R's, because the House and the Senate could not agree on the maps. They had their maps, and the Senate had their maps, and they adjusted them, and they just couldn't agree, and we just sat back and watched them infight with each other.
Now, I understand they sent up 3 or 4 maps.
They just sent the Supreme Court, they had sent them 4 maps.
Okay.
And from both sides, they were talking about it, they're testifying and doing everything with the judge, because the judge had took it to the appeals court. The appeals court sent it right back to the judge. I think it's Roberts' his name.
Right.
And he has to deal with it now. So he's dealing with it right now.
So what do you think the prognosis is? Is the patient already dead on arrival? We have to do it
Well,
again?
they got to come to some agreement, because everybody's waiting. Okay. And then we still have to go in October to do the Senate seats, because the Senate said that they did the same thing. Their maps were no good.
Okay, so now basically everybody has to run again, right?
In the Senate side, everybody has to run.
Okay.
Either they gain a year, they lose a year, or gain 2 years.
Okay.
So everybody has to run.
All right. Now, you've been in a little trouble with some of the predominant people in the neighborhood, like the KKK and some other very well-rounded groups out there, for some of your opinions. So what's going on with that?
Well, I'm a politician of the people. I really don't care what they think. I'm going to do what's right for the people. Right now, I'm working on a bill for Poinciana for 2 local bills, also with Senator Soto, so we can get the HOAs in check. Yeah. So they can help the people, so people don't lose their houses in Poinciana. They're losing their houses. Yeah. And maybe a broader bill, a bigger government bill, to rectify 720, which 720 doesn't give DBPR any teeth to regulate HOAs. Okay. HOAs need to be regulated now. I have just see all the emails I'm getting from all over, from South Florida, North Florida, Georgia, everywhere. Right. Everybody's not happy with HOAs. And the poor people in Poinciana are getting their houses taken away because they're late on their payments, right, or they're getting fines for not cutting the grass, or the house is not painted right. Okay. So things like, and it adds up. And then the lawyers put their fees on it.
Sure.
So then the management company starts putting foreclosure, and they're more powerful than your mortgage company. HOAs are more powerful than your mortgage company.
Now,
It's sad to say.
What would you say to Republicans and say that's just free enterprise? Why not? If you can't pay your house, to hell with you. If you can't pay on time, to hell with you. Okay? If you need a handout, go to your church. What do you say when Republicans feel obligated to tell you that?
Well, if they have a heart, they should be on the board with me in this bill to protect them, protect the folks that are out there that need help, so they can stay with their houses, pay their mortgages, and get help to stay on point and keep businesses going, because I see the business side. Okay. If a guy hasn't paid his dues in 15 years, then he deserves to get his house taken away. Okay. Because he should have been paying that. Now, but if I got an 81-year-old lady that her husband died, right. She couldn't pay the dues, she was living paycheck, Social Security check to Social Security check. Right. And they didn't have the decency to talk to her until I had to tell the president of the HOA, one of the board members, which are folks from the community, to help that lady out. And there was a couple of more that I talked to before I even was elected. A lady who had her daughter in a wheelchair, that the wheelchair was no good. Her husband just died, and she couldn't afford it. They're going to take her house. Right. How do you think I felt? And I wasn't even elected yet. So I was trying to get her a wheelchair.
Yeah, but now let me. Your buddies on the other across the aisle will say, "That's tough luck. You bought a house and you can't afford it. Downsize."
Why take a house away when you can work some kind of plan? Okay. And if that plan doesn't work, try to get them help somewhere, okay. or we'll see if we can come out with something we can help these people out, because everybody needs help. We're not here for. I like to see people making profit, but not profit on people who need to live somewhere. And would you rather have them homeless, and then be on the system, go on welfare?
No, we're not.
See, we don't want them on the system.
The Republican plan is no welfare. You go to the church. Okay.
Well, what's the church? And the church needs money too. The church can't survive without money.
Well, we can't talk about the Catholic Church or other charities, man, because they make money, bro. So, what other things do you think we should know about? We got a few minutes left.
Well, I have a bill coming up with the local bill coming up with the HOAs. Hopefully that'll work. Right. We have our delegation meeting on the 2nd of October to talk about also the incorporation of Poinciana, which is trying to make it a city. Okay. Which if the HOA does what it's supposed to and gets regulated, or what we're going to do with DBPR, then we won't have to be incorporated with the city. Okay. And so we can get that done.
Real quick, why do you think HOAs have become so powerful? Who allowed them to be?
Because there's no law watching them, or what do you call that? Getting them for responsibilities that they're not doing their job. Okay. You know, no law enforcement on it. All right.
Real quick, I've watched you over the years. You're a very argumentative representative. You hold your ground. You try to. Why can't you just get along with all these wonderful people on the other side of that?
Well, I'm not a guy who sells his soul to the devil. I'm a guy who fights for the people. I live here. I want to stay here, and I have to fight for the people. That's why I was elected. My job is to help everybody. I don't care who you are, what party you are. When you come to my office, there's no party affiliation. My job is to help you, and that's it.
John, it's always a pleasure, man. Come back and let's argue some more, okay?
Definitely.
John Cortez, I'm Jose Miranda. This is Hispanic Speak Out. We'll be right back.
Are you proud to be Hispanic? Hispanics in Florida now have the first Hispanic car license plate in the United States. Be a proud Hispanic.
Put the Hispanic plate on your car.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a scientist.
I want to be an engineer. I want to be a police officer.
I want to be a professional dancer.
By getting the Hispanic plate for your car,
you will support scholarships and community programs.
Call now or visit HispanicAchievers.org.
This show is brought to you by Boricua Beer, coming to your local retailer.
Hi, my name is Lisa Pino. I'm a Latina role model. I am a student at the University of Central Florida, graduating with her communication degree in December. My advice to students is to stay focused, stay dedicated, and don't let challenges bring you down.
It is not about the goal, it is about the road. Remember to keep dreaming, live genuinely, and never stop dreaming. Pursue your dreams, but enjoy the moment.
I am for the child who's had 7 addresses in a single year because she's in foster care, because her father abused her, and her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a volunteer child advocate. I am you.
Florida residents call toll-free 866-341-1425.
Welcome back. I'm Jose Miranda. This is Hispanic Speak Out, brought to you each Tuesday night starting at 9 with our education piece. Of course, this program and Latina role models. So please stay tuned and prequel us and watch us in the beginning as well. Awesome shows. And we are going to be also presenting a cooking show coming your way, so stand stay tuned for those details. We talk politics here, of course, and community, and I'm being joined by one of our advocates, Eddie Fernandez. Hello, Eddie. How are you?
It's good to see you, Jose.
Eddie is an attorney, and he's also the vice chair of the Charter Review Commission, right?
That's right.
Of Orange County.
That's right.
So that's a mouthful. What is that?
It is a mouthful, and first of all, Jose, it's a pleasure to be on. I always enjoy speaking with friends, and you are a friend, and really enjoy being on. The Charter Review Commission, the reason it's called a commission as opposed to a committee, which is typically what we hear, perhaps sometimes we hear the word board. The commission is a commission because it's independently existing. It exists with the Board of County Commissioners at the same time, but it only exists for a short period of time every 4 years. So it is a commission whose task it is to look at our county charter, which is our constitution, and actually put forth measures directly to the voters. So the things that we draft and put together will actually be on the ballot in 2016. And our voters, our viewers in Orange County, they're going to have the opportunity to vote yes or no on these measures, which would be changes to our Constitution.
I'm going to play devil's advocate a little
bit.
Okay. And you're one of my favorite Republicans. But still, we are trying in this commission to make it larger, to include another commission at least, to represent Latinos, basically, Hispanics.
Right.
Okay. Why are we doing that, and what's the difference we just put anybody in there?
Well, a good point, Jose, and so let me clarify that as a commission, we are evaluating dozens of possibilities, dozens of changes that could come before us to eventually possibly change the county charter. Of those dozens, maybe a dozen, possibly even less, end up making it to what we call committee or work group. In those committees, we actually flush that out. There are committee members advised by a lawyer who actually evaluate different proposals that are being made and then decide whether those have enough merit to go back to the commission to be voted on and eventually go on the ballot. One of those that has been in committee is a measure to actually increase the size of our Board of County Commissioners here in Orange County. The difference is there are different competing proposals for that. The one that is currently being evaluated is the addition of 2 additional county commission districts. And some folks who support it do support it because of the lack of ethnic variety, let's call it, on the Board of County Commissioners.
Sure.
People who believe that Hispanics should have a seat that is easily accessible to a Hispanic candidate.
Well, to add that, we have at least 1,000 Latinos that come into the country, into Florida, for example.
Absolutely.
Every week.
Absolutely.
Okay, and so that's going to change the numbers dramatically. So it's right in some fashion that they should have some say-so what's going on. So I'm assuming that your board will speak to that interest. Is that right?
Well, our commission's job is to narrow down and narrowly tailor the items that we think the public, there is enough support for in our county that voters would want to enact that through a vote next November. Okay. So that is what we try to flush out. As far as this particular measure, I think the growth point is definitely the one that I have been seeing. The way this county has grown just since the last census and the way we're expected to grow over the next few years, sure. I think we have a true opportunity at this point to reduce the amount of residents per county commissioner from about 250,000 to about 200,000 if this measure were to pass through. And I do believe that is a benefit to the public, and it is proper and adequate planning for us as a county to be evaluating the growth that we expect, not just after the last census, but as you very well said, what is coming here now. Of course, and I'll play devil's advocate with you from I think a Hispanic representation standpoint. Keep in mind, I was a Orange County constitutional officer, and when I left that capacity, we didn't have a single Hispanic on the county commission, on the school board, or at the constitutional officer level. A sad state of affairs when we are such a large minority in this community.
And no representation.
That's exactly right. But I also see the value in having 6 or 8 or whatever the magic number ends up being of county commissioners, having the ear of the Hispanic community, having the ear of all of those commissioners. Sure. If we start putting the Hispanic community directly in 1 or 2 districts, what ends up happening is that you have 1 or 2 Hispanic voices on that commission, and that's well and good. But what ends up happening is the rest of the commissioners don't care, and guess what? That's going to be a majority vote.
They stop listening.
And that's obviously a hyperbolic statement. It's not that they wouldn't care, but it becomes very parochial.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Don't we have to redistrict in order to do some of this stuff?
That's exactly right, Jose, and that's an excellent question. And certainly one of the things that weighs heavy on the conscience of the Charter Review Commission, and certainly of citizens as they go vote yay or nay on this, should it make it on the ballot. One of the things that we have to do is provide a financial study of every proposal that comes forth to ensure that it's financially feasible. Part of that cost structure would include a redistricting process that would occur after the Charter Review Commission ceases to exist, this Charter Review Commission, and also after the vote, should it pass. So that's when that, in that 2016-2017 space, is when that redistricting committee would take place.
Okay, devil's advocate again.
Let's do it.
I'm a Republican. In fact, I might be 2, 3, or 4 Republicans on that.
All right.
And we're talking about redistricting. Oh, isn't somebody going to lose a seat, or am I going to throw a monkey wrench in the process because I want to keep my seat?
That's a fair point. The way it is being drafted at the committee level at this point would be that commissioners who are currently on the Board of County Commissioners, the districts would be drawn in such a way, and also they would be, through the actual language, able to keep their seat. So those mechanisms would be built in, so those commissioners would keep their seats, and that's only fair. The people have elected the existing commissioners.
That are already there.
They're already there. So the redistricting must occur with them in mind.
So you're just concerned about the expansion of that seat as opposed to moving people out of their seats?
That's exactly right. Nobody would be supplanted by virtue of this measure. Rather, additional districts would be created and residents would be reshuffled, if you will, through the redistricting process.
So this process is being done because of the minority increase, or despite the minority increase?
It's a fair question, and the answer, at least in my humble opinion, is all of the above. I think there are people, we hear from the public at every meeting, and we hear from them at the committee meetings. We also hear about them at the Charter Review Commission meetings. And I will tell you that the reasons for wanting this, and I want to say for not wanting this, run the gamut. There are people who believe that expansion is necessary because of the growth in our county.
Sure.
There are people that believe that this expansion is necessary to give Hispanics access to the Board of County Commissioners, as far as having a commissioner of Hispanic descent on the board. There are folks who feel that the number is simply too high of residents, and that's only going to continue to increase. There are people that don't feel that the cost increase merits having any additional commissioners. There are also groups out there, and I certainly understand this, that feel that it adds another layer of bureaucracy.
Sure.
There are
arguments. I gotta cut you off.
Let's do it.
I apologize.
You're fine.
Okay. Thank you for taking the time.
It's
hang
my
out with
pleasure.
me a little bit. We got to do this again.
Let's do it.
Okay. On behalf of myself, Eddie Fernandez, I'm Jose Miranda. This has been Hispanic Speak Out TV. We'll see you next week, same time.
My name is Raquel Garzón, and I'm a Latina role model. My advice to you is to always be yourself, be authentic, and to do always what you believe is the right thing.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Cooper, and I'm a Latina role model. If you want to do what I did in my life, you want a success for your life, stay focused. Don't stop believing in yourself. Write down your goals, and I will see you at the top.
This show is brought to you by Boricua Beer, coming to your local retailer.
I am for the child who's had 7 addresses in a single year, because she's in foster care, because her father abused her, and her mother couldn't believe her. She is the child I am for. I am a volunteer child advocate. I am you.
Florida residents call toll-free 866-341-1425.
Are you proud to be Hispanic? Hispanics in Florida now have the first Hispanic car license plate in the United States. Be a proud Hispanic.
Put the Hispanic plate on your car.
I want to be a doctor.
I want to be a scientist.
I want to be an engineer. I want to be a police officer. I want to be a professional dancer.
By getting the Hispanic plate for your car,
you will support scholarships and community programs.
Call now or visit HispanicAchievers.org.
My name is Raquel Garzón, and I'm a Latina role model. My advice to you is to always be yourself, be authentic, and to do always what you believe is the right thing.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Cooper and I'm a Latina role model. If you want to do what I did in my life, you want a success for your life, stay focused. Don't stop believing in yourself. Write down your goals and I will see you at the top.